I Get Abs, day 122. This morning I weighed in at 200 and okay. So this morning I weighed in at 226.6. So I'm down right at 1.5 pounds from last Wednesday. So my weight's still trending down in a positive way, which is good. So I'm just gonna keep on going along the way I'm going along, and I'm gonna get there eventually. Like I'm gonna hit my goal. I just hope that I am not below 200 pounds whenever I finally get there, because I just feel like that is way too skinny at 6 foot. Okay, I gotta eat. I gotta do my food and get ready for work. Don't get me wrong. I know being 200 pounds for the majority of people isn't skinny, especially if you have a six-pack, because it's like, imagine how big your arms and legs and chest and shoulders would be at 200 with low body fat. But me personally, I just don't want to feel skinny, and I just feel like anything below 220 at 6 foot for me personally is skinny. But it is what it is. Necessary evil to drop below a certain number for the benefits of gaining abs and losing body fat at the cost of a little bit of mental anguish of looking at the scale going like, now I'm skinny. Don't want to be skinny. Want to be fit. Want to be muscular. Want to look good, you know. It's a really ugly morning, by the way. This is the normal time that I walk, but the clouds are so heavy. It's foggy, super humid. It's drizzling and sprinkling off and on. So it looks a lot darker than what it is this time of morning. Normally the sun would be peekabooing up behind the trees once I turn this corner back there, but they are not, because of, well, how ugly the weather is. Thing is though, it's not windy, it's not cold, and it's not actually raining. So I'm able to get out here and do my cardio, so that's the most important thing. It's like, yeah, the weather could be nicer, but I would take warm and humid over cold and windy. Cold and windy sucks. It's the worst. So I'll take what I could get. So that's a big win. Okay, so last night, I was able to work out my shoulders. It was very lightweight, and I had zero issues. I had to change some of the exercises out because the other two I normally do did bother my shoulder. But this morning, waking up, my shoulder feels amazing. There's stiffness, like muscle soreness. There's no longer a pinch or a sharp pain. It feels like muscle soreness. So that's a step in the right direction. That's a huge benefit of mentally knowing that my shoulder is going to be just fine. And it was just impingement like I thought it was. It wasn't an injury. I just hurt my shoulder, something cramped up, and I strained. I was able to get the tissue to kind of work out, release, and relax. Also last night, I was incredibly tired. So to the point that I was in bed at 7:45 and I went to sleep at 8 p.m. I was so tired, I was passed out by 8 p.m. Normally go to bed between 9:30, but I was in bed an hour early, and I feel so much better today. Like, I just mentally, physically, just in general, I feel way better. And it's like, well, like I was talking about yesterday, you need a day off from the gym to rest and recover, or you can just get some more sleep, go to bed a little earlier, you know. It's like, I backed off the intensity this week. I'm not doing rest, pause, and drop sets. I'm just going to do straight sets every night this week. Nothing crazy, just 4 to 5 sets each exercise. No drops, no rest, nothing crazy, just straight through. So that is like basically taking a week off the gym and then just going to bed earlier and getting more sleep. Who would have thought getting more sleep would make you feel better and not need to take a whole day off of the gym? Because it's like, if you think about it, if you work out for 1 hour a day, do you really need to take 2 days off or a day off to recover? It's 1 hour, 24 hours out of the day. If you sleep for 8 hours, that means that you're up for 16 hours. And out of those 16 hours, just 1 hour of you being physical It's going to wear you out so bad that you have to take a whole day off the gym for recovery, to rest. Go to bed a little earlier. Just get a little bit more sleep. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Now, a lot of people are be like, no, dude, that's not the way it works. You got to get more rest. You need more rest days. Those are growth days. Well, I don't think sitting around the house for 1 extra hour is going to make me recover faster. You think of the logic, right? It's like, did you work out today? No, I needed a rest day. So what'd you do? Instead of working out my arms today for an hour, I sat on the couch for a whole extra hour, and that 1 hour of not doing anything, it really offset my fatigue. And I feel so good now that I feel like I can go back at it 100% because I took a whole hour off of working out yesterday. I mean, granted, I still did everything else that I normally do during the day for the 16 hours that I'm awake. But that 1 hour that I spend at the gym, that's the difference of now I feel rested and recovered and ready to go versus feeling worn out and beat up. And now I can't function anymore because I spent an hour doing calf raises, and now I can't function at all in anything else in my life. I'm so worn out because I spent a whole hour working out my calves, but because I decided to sit on the couch for an hour instead of work my calves out, now I feel like I could tackle the world again. Or instead of missing out that hour of training, why don't you just go to bed an hour earlier? What do you think would be more beneficial? Skip an hour of the gym to sit on the couch and do nothing, or go to bed an hour earlier. I think going to bed an hour earlier would be far more beneficial because sleep is when you recover. Sleep is when you heal. Sleep is when you rest. And that's when true recovery happens. So if you can sleep an hour earlier and get an extra hour of sleep, I think that would greatly benefit and offset that hour that you decided to work out instead of skipping the gym. And that's just me personally. And also, take it on your weekends or your days off. If you're not off on the weekends, just your days off in general. Wake up whenever you wake up, not to an alarm clock. Go to bed at the same time you go to bed, like as if you're going to work. But sleep in longer, get more sleep. That will greatly improve your recovery. Also, on your days off, if you could take a nap, take a nap. That will also increase your recovery. So it's just like, instead of skipping the gym for an hour, take a nap for an hour on your day off. Get an extra hour of sleep. I think that's far more beneficial. I'm just me personally. Because training 7 days a week, doing cardio twice a day, I don't feel like I'm missing out on any opportunities for recovery by simply working out 7 days a week and not skipping a 1 hour workout. I just get more rest when I need it. I sleep a little bit more when I need it. I sleep in on the weekends if I need it. I take naps on the weekends if I need it. That seems to be helping me out tremendously. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my walk and get ready to start this work day. And it's that time of the day again. Guess what meal it is? You got 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Chicken and carrots. Did you get it right? Or did you say bell peppers? Or did you say rice? Which one did you say? Or did you say carrots? Yesterday my hunger was incredibly powerful. I was very hungry, went to bed early, ignored it. And now today my hunger is about a 6 or 7. So it's not too crazy, but it is kind of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat, get this meal down. Hope it offsets my hunger tremendously. If not, I'm gonna make me a cup of decaf coffee and help suppress my appetite through coffee, because coffee is a very strong appetite suppressant. It really does help curb that that craving for wanting to eat something. And it's not a craving that I'm craving a certain food. The craving is just hunger and I want to eat. Like I haven't been craving food, like specific foods. Or every now and then I do get a craving. I'm not gonna lie, I am human. I do get a craving every once in a while. But for the most part, it's just hunger, and I just don't want to be hungry anymore, you know? So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and eat. It is arm night. So I did some tissue work on my shoulder. This morning it felt good when I woke up out of bed. Really, it feels like in here is the main issue, and then through the front delt through here. That feels like the main issue when it comes to my shoulder. But when I rolled it out and I did some tissue work on that back shoulder blade area, I was able to lift without any pain. So that's a huge plus. Like I said, I woke up this morning, it felt fine throughout the day. It kind of got tight, got stiff. Worked on it, loosened it up, felt better. I'm gonna do some dead hangs, see how I feel after I do a couple dead hangs and stuff, and then work on my arms. I was thinking I wasn't gonna do any drop sets or rest pause this week, and I'm just gonna do straight sets all the way through, just to kind of get my body desensitized to the drop sets and rest pause. Not because I'm trying to cop out or not train hard. It's just I've been doing them so long, I'm thinking maybe taking a week off from doing them will allow my body to be more sensitive to them when I start doing them again. So it's kind of like a reset where it's just kind of like, oh, this is different. We got comfortable and relaxed doing less, and now we have to do more, so it's hard again. But I'm gonna see how I feel, because to be honest, if I start doing my arms and I get that itch, I'm like, man, I think I got more in me. I might hit it for more. So we're just gonna see how it goes. So we'll find out as the evening goes, because I like to train instinctual. I don't like to have too much of a plan. I have a general idea of what I want to do, but it could change on the fly as it goes. Let me get this bar down so I can get started. 135, we got a plate. We are curling what some guys can't even bench press with our biceps, our bicepticals, right? And we're going to hit this for one set. I'm not going to drop set. That's why I got the plate. I'm not going to do any rest pause. I'm just gonna do the one straight set and that's it, because like I said, I wanna give my body a time to be more sensitive to the rest pause and drop sets. And since I kinda tweaked my shoulder this last weekend, I figured, hey, what better time than now? I had a discussion with my brother today, and the conversation went like this. Hey man, why don't you slow your reps down and control them? Get more out of the negatives. And I said, nah, no thank you. I did that for over a year and a half, and the only thing that happened was I got small and I got weak. That's it. I lost strength, which forced me to lose size. So I'm just gonna keep clanging and banging heavier and heavier weights for more and more reps. Because it's like, okay, cool, you can lower 25 pounds real slow. Wow, that's impressive. How cool is that? You might be like, oh, you're ego lifting it, you're swinging it. That's not impressive. But here's the kicker. A guy that can only curl 25, 30 pounds slow, right? How much are you getting out of that? Now hear me out. If I'm curling 135 pounds, I promise you, I can curl a 25 pound slow. I can even do a 30 pound slow. But can someone that could barely do 8 to 10 reps with a 25, 30 pound, even if they're doing it slow, could curl 135 pounds, let alone for 8 to 20 reps? Probably not, right? And at the end of the day, if you have a guy who can squat 500 20 times and a guy who can squat 135 really slow for 10, who do you think's bigger? Let's be honest. Who do you think is bigger? Let's be realistic. Weight plus reps equals growth. Size, whatever, it doesn't matter. Weight plus reps equals results. So if I can go really slow with this light weight, look how amazing and slow I'm going. Look at how slow, it's so perfect. Be so for real. Like be so for real. If you really think that's going to take you there, then do it. If you're getting results from it, do it. But I promise you, it did nothing for me for over a year and a half. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got that big boy weight now. Oof. 135 for 20 ugly anti-reps. But that's still 20 reps with a heavy weight. Let me drop it down and go really light and show you how slow I can lower it.
I'm gonna change up the spider curls because, well, doing the spider curls feel good, but I'm limited on the range of motion because I hit the bench. Now I could bring my arms out like this, but if I'm gonna do that, I might as well just do standing dumbbell curls. There's really no reason to do, I mean, I could do seated incline dumbbell curls, but if I'm gonna do preacher curls, there's no reason to do seated incline dumbbell curls. And if I'm just gonna do spider curls with my hands straight, I might as well just do dumbbell curls. I can get a bigger range of motion. Plus, I can cheat the weight a little bit if it starts getting a little bit too heavy on the fatigue. All right, 18, not too bad for the 4S. So like I said, I know I can shift over a little bit like I do, and I can kind of like a little bit there, but still it's a full range of motion than doing the straight bar curls. And that's why I do spider curls. I want a full range of motion. So if I lean over a little bit and I can get all the way up, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. And then the preacher curls are gonna be that top range. And I'm gonna see how my arms feel tomorrow after this because, well, I'm not nearly doing the same amount of intensity that I normally do. Plus I just changed the exercise up because I was limited on the spider curls. I was gonna do the easy curl bar, but again, if I'm doing preacher curl, really there's no reason to do two of the same thing. So I was like, let me do something where it's individual, you know? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Don't overthink it. When I first got this preacher curl bench, I hated it because of this. So when I was sitting down curling, there's like a tipping point, right? Even if I try to lean back on it, or if I try to lean forward, there was this, and I absolutely hated this. So I had this down where I can sit down and do it, and I despised it with a passion. And then for some reason, I got this idea, like, what if I raise it all the way up and put my knees on the pad? That way I can lean back hard into it and lock in and pull it into me. And I'm above the pad, not sitting, leaning back. So that way I can keep the pad from, because it's adjustable, right? But there's slop and the adjustment. So if you want to do like wrist curls or whatever, you know, you can. I guess if you want to do like dumbbell Scott curls, and this even flips all the way around. So if you want to turn around here and do seated shoulder press, you can, right? So it's a multi-function bench, but the thing is it has a little bit of slop to it, and I despised it. But I figured out how to use it without it aggravating my inner being to my soul, you know. See, it doesn't wobble. Also went lighter tonight than I did last week. Like I said, I'm gonna try to desensitize myself this week. Do a little bit lighter weight. Don't do any rest pause or drop sets. Let my body become a little bit more relaxed without so much stress. So whenever I go back into it next week, it's like shocking myself all over again. I don't really know if that's even like something that's real or not, but I mean, I'm not going to ignore it. If people said they got results from shocking your body by giving it a break to doing other things to come back to do other things. So who am I to judge things that worked for others? I've been doing JM press for the last, 2-3 weeks now, and I really like it, but because my shoulder, and whenever I hold up that bar and I come down like this movement here, that I can feel that delt, and I'm not going to risk further aggravating my shoulder because it's feeling a lot better, and I don't want to cause any discomfort in the joint, and I want to heal up. I want to do JM press, I really do, but I might have to change it to maybe lying dumbbell instead of doing that bar, which I like that bar a lot, but I might have to change that to the dumbbells or something and do something slightly different, but still the same. And see if I can't, maybe the elbow or hand positioning with the dumbbells can get me where it's not on a track and bothers that. Again, not doing anything crazy tonight, just straight sets. Going to try, like I was saying earlier, there's people out there, Arnold and a lot of the guys from the 70s, talk about shocking the muscle and doing something different, doing something the body's not used to or familiar with. But if you always do the same thing, you'll always get the same results. So if you're not liking your results, you need to change it up to figure out what works for you. But what's working for me is doing drop sets and rest pause and supersets and anti-reps, cheat reps, ego lifting, stuff like that. So that works for me. So I don't need to change it. But if shocking the system is something as simple as like, let me back off for a week, not do all that crazy stuff, allow my body to desensitize to it. So whenever I go back into it, I'm more sensitive to it, then that's what I'm going to do. You call it a deload week or a back off week or a reset week, whatever you want, I don't care. I'm just going to change it up slightly for a week and then get back to it. Now, no days off, still pushing, just not pushing with the same type of brute force that I was before, especially just because of, I've been doing it for so long. Like I said, it's just good to kind of change things up for mental reasons, for routine fatigue, because if things start becoming too routine, you can start getting bored, and then you can stop pushing as hard, which causes you to lose results because you don't put the same amount of effort and intent into your workouts because you have routine fatigue. And I'm not trying to fatigue on my routine. Not that I'm bored of it, because I still love everything I'm doing. It's just, changing it up a little bit, using that bro science. $20 with the full stack, which is 150 pounds, but reality, it's not actually 150 pounds. It's significantly less than that because it's on a basic snatch block system, because the way that the pulley is here, it's weight reduction. And because it's weight reduction, it's not a full 150, it's significantly less. That's probably actually closer to 80 pounds on this stack, maybe 90. I honestly didn't even think these would be a good idea because of overhead motion from my shoulder, but first 2 sets were okay. So I want to see if I can't sneak in this 3rd set here or not have any issues. All right, so far so good. Time to make it happen. Time to make it happen. This last movement, do reverse. And that's the thing when I do my tricep training. I like to do an overhand, I like to do a neutral, and then I like to do an underhand movement. I feel rotating the wrist in all 3 positions is just good practice for training the triceps. Now, if there's any benefit to it or not, I don't know, but I know it feels different when I go from this to this to this. So maybe there is, maybe there isn't. but I'm not going to leave it to chance if there's opportunity for development. And it's going back to my shoulders. So like I've talked about many times, that from my neck to my shoulders, back and down, my whole entire trap area is very, very weak when I do the rear double bicep, and where the shoulders tie into the traps, which tie into the lats, it's just so weak back there. So my shoulder training is becoming more of a trap / shoulder night. So doing those front barbell overhead laterals really hit that trap area. I felt it exactly where it's weakest, but doing these, I felt it in the same area. So shoulder press is kind of like a 50-50 on the traps, shoulder blade area, and shoulders. Doing the front facing overhead laterals, same thing. Reverse pec deck, same thing. The only thing I do that directly hits the lateral head is side laterals. Everything else, I'm trying to hit that middle trap delt area and trying to get that all tied in, along with maybe incorporating some upright rows maybe next week or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, and that's it for that. Easy, easy, just smooth, straight all the way through. I'm not gonna do any posing tonight. I've measured my arms. They pumped up to 18 inches still, so I'm very happy about the fact that they're still pumping up to the same size that they've been pumping up to. But there's no point in taking off my shirt and doing any posing or flexing, just because I don't think there's any significant difference from last week to this week, especially the way that my training is. You can still see my arm is full in my shirt, so that is a clear indication that we're still banging on the right track. Maybe a thumbnail. No, maybe not that one, maybe. Maybe that. Yeah, maybe that's the thumbnail. Okay, I'm gonna go do cardio. Well, still got some ego lifting in tonight with those straight bar curls, but didn't really get all the other cool fun stuff like drop sets and rest pause, and that's what makes my training fun. Like, I don't have to keep changing the exercises out, but doing drop sets and rest pause and really pushing myself with however many rest pause and drop sets I could possibly handle until I can't handle no more makes my training fun, and it makes me want to keep doing it and keep coming back for more. So that's what I do to keep my training interesting. And not everybody enjoys that, but I do, so that's why I do it. As far as it goes for progress, yeah, I get more weight, I get more reps, I get more sets, I get more drops, so I get more results. And if you're stopping at 4 sets of 10, well, if it's working for you, keep going. But I don't like to stop at 4 sets of 10. I like to warm up with 4 sets. And then I like to do my drop sets and rest pause and everything else I could possibly think of to keep going further and harder. It's fun to me. This week, I'm not doing that clearly, but explain it all. I'm not going to go over that again. It's just keeping yourself from getting bored is probably the hardest thing when it comes to working out, making it feel not so routine. So like, I'm out of the gym a lot faster tonight than what I normally am because I'm not doing all the extra stuff. Therefore, it's over quicker, which makes me miss being in the gym more. So next week when I go back to my normal training, I'm going to be excited to be in there longer. If you're in the gym for an hour and a half every single night, 7 days a week, eventually you start kind of getting burnt out. But if you shorten your workout up for a week or two, or change some of the things you're doing to make it where it's not so long, then you start missing it. So it's like people that take off from the gym because they need a break. I just shorten up the workouts. Not that I needed a break, it's just I'm trying something different, right? I'm trying to keep it interesting. I'm trying to do something that's going to keep me moving forward and progressing in a way that's positive, not negative. And like I said, if next week I come in and train like I normally do and I'm sore as all, man, that means that it worked and it was successful. So maybe every 5-6 weeks I'll have a week that I back off like this and then go back to it. Maybe next week what I'll do is I'll do my first movement of every lift with drop sets and rest pause.
And then after 2 weeks, the second movement and the first movement, I'll do drop sets and rest pause. And then the next 2 weeks, all 3 sets or all 3 exercises. So basically, let's say let's take back, for instance, first 2 weeks, just do the drop sets and rest pause with barbell rows. And then the next 2 weeks, do it with barbell rows plus close grip pull downs. The next 2 weeks, do it with barbell rows, close grip pull downs, plus the seated cable rows or whatever, just keep adding and building up. And then after those 2 weeks, maybe go back to doing 1 week of just straight sets and let the body reset and then go back into it. And maybe that's the way I'll do my progressive overload. I'll keep trying to get more weight. I'll keep trying to get more reps. And I'll keep trying to push myself as hard as I can over those 6 weeks. But in the meantime, the way that I'll do the progressive overload is by adding more volume and more intensity, by adding more rest and drop sets, by adding them to the second movement and then the third movement of the night. And then after 6 weeks, reset. We'll see how it goes. I'll mess around with it and see how I feel at the end of it. And who knows, maybe I'll just go 12 to 18 more weeks doing the exact same thing I've been doing now because it was working too. No need to change it if it's working. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next one.